Okay, let's jump across the pond to America, where the Biden administration is set to send dozens of Abrams tanks to Ukraine. Now, when only last year he warned sending tanks to Ukraine would be the start of World War III. Have a listen to this.
The idea that we're going to send in offensive equipment and have planes and tanks and trains going in with American pilots and American crews, just understand, and don't kid yourself, no matter what you all say, that's called World War III.
Now, Michael, these tanks aren't going to have American crews, and there's not trains and planes going over there, but however reluctant this may be, it's quite telling to me. Does it concern you, or is this something that you think is the right move?
Look, you have to pass all politicians' speeches, past and present, as you know, Cory. And I think what this is done is this announcement is made to give the Germans cover. Bundeskanzler Otto Scholz wanted the Americans to say that they would deploy Abrams so that he could give the re-export licences to Poland, Finland, Holland, Czech Republic and Denmark, who want to send part of their Leopard tank fleet to the Ukrainians to prepare them for the offensive fighting in the spring. Now, I've driven from Kiev right down to the south across what will be the future battlefield, and you cannot conduct a war like that in the mud. They'll have to wait till mid-April. And the main thing is not that the Americans are going to actually provide these Abrams tanks now. They'll promise them later with their long logistics trail. They'll only arrive, I would say at the end of this year. But they mustn't listen to the Americans about striking at the Russians before they're ready. They've got to train their crews on these Leopard tanks. They've got to get command and control established so they integrate in combined warfare that Jim Molan used to talk about, of aircraft, anti-aircraft, infantry fighting vehicles and the tanks. Don't move before April, Mr Zelensky and co. Don't listen to the Americans. I know they want to please people in the American Congress and on American TV, but you shouldn't sacrifice your military security just to please wealthy friends.
Michael, in your experience, the receipt of the Leopard 2 tanks, the Abrams tanks if they arrive, and the training and the skill development, as you just mentioned then, will they be enough to put Ukraine on the front foot over Russia?
Very good question, Cory. I don't think they'll seize back the whole of Ukraine as it was before 2014. But after winning the battles of Kiev, Kharkiv and Kherson, if the German tanks enable them to push south to the sea and regain control of the Sea of Azov and the Black Sea, they'll cut off the remaining part of the Russians in Kherson and Crimea. And then they can come to the peace table and say, look, we've won back most of it. You can keep those bombed out cities of the Donbass. So this is what I would say. I'm sorry, I can't speak on behalf of the Ukrainians. But what this one more successful offensive towards the south makes a peace negotiation more possible. It'll be very hard for the Ukrainians, but I would leave the Russians those cities, in depopulated cities in the Donbass that they bombed to hell. Let them repair them. Just if you can get back 95% of Ukraine, you can get back your coast so you can do your exports and do your future trade. That would be great. And you can secure really beautiful cities like Odessa. When the war's over, Cory, we should meet in Odessa for a coffee.
Yes, it depends on who's going to be in control of it, you see, Michael, because I might not be welcome, because I've been talking about for quite some time that, we don't want to see an escalation in this war, that there needs to be a negotiated peace to satisfy the Russian side and the Ukrainian side. It seems more people are coming to that. But one of the things that's concerned me, I've got to tell you, is the risk of escalation. I mean, drawing others into it. And what do you make of this? I mean, Germany's foreign minister said the other day that NATO is now at war with Russia. Have a listen to this grab.
And therefore, I've said already in the last days, yes, we have to do more to defend Ukraine. Yes, we have to do more also on tanks. But the most important and the crucial part is that we do it together and that we do not do the blame game in Europe, because we are fighting a war against Russia and not against each other.
Now, Michael, in your experience, were these words deliberate, or am I misinterpreting them in some way? Because it just seems a rhetoric that's designed to inflame the Russians, which could see even greater escalation.
But Cory, look at the upside. Have you ever heard an Australian Green speak like that in defence of Australia? Have you ever heard them speak like that with regards to Beijing and its aggressive military moves? I wish we could bottle that woman and bring her over here and pour them all over Lydia Thorpe and Jordan Steele or whatever his name is. They're all pro-Beijing. No, look, I agree with you, you have to be careful. No men, no armed forces of Germany or the United States in Ukraine. But the Russians have been saying for months that they're fighting NATO. Look, one speech from the German foreign minister, so ironic that the German Greens are the most militant supporters of Ukraine in the ruling German coalition. It's a strange world that this conflict has begat, and there are some positive elements to it too. We have to be careful. I'm inching towards you, Cory. I think the Ukrainians might negotiate if they can seize back that land corridor between Zaporizhia and Kherson. I don't think they'll get Crimea back immediately. And as I said, I would leave the Russians the ruined, devastated, destroyed Donbas. Let them fix it up.
All right, well, maybe we'll come together at some point pretty soon, Michael.
That coffee in Odessa's looking good.
Before I let you go, it could be. We might go on a global tour of coffee to hotspots around the world.